Welcome, everyone, to episode 4 of Pyped Podcast, where you come for the sports and stay for the great vibes. I'm your host, Jonah Hall, and today we're talking to a very special guest, the host of the Tip-Off radio show and Tech Sports News Director, Carson Crouch. So be sure to stick around. I promise you do not want to miss this conversation. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Carson, how you doing?
Doing good, Jonah. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to get back in the podcasting setting. That's kind of where I started. So
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on. But yeah, we just kind of figured it'd be cool to have you on, talk a little basketball with your tip-off radio show, and just hammer out this last pod of the semester.
Yeah. So a little bit, I guess, about me. I'm the sports news director here. Like Jonah did a great introduction there with me. I'm a sophomore, so I'm going to be an upcoming junior. Kind of started when I was a freshman. Really, I got an email in my folder. It said apply for sports news director job, and I thought it called my name. As a Christian, it just I felt like doors opened up for me there, so I've been beyond blessed with that. I started when I was 13. I started with a podcast, and I kind of grew up from there. So the experience that I had in high school kind of led me to get the job. And then the sports news director job, like you mentioned, kind of led me into what is called the Tip-Off. The Tip-Off is my sports show that I do on WTTU 88.5 FM, but I also do the TV show on campus as well for Eagle View Productions, who we just placed first in the country for a couple weeks ago, so we've been excited about that. And then also we do play-by-play for the basketball team here.
And Kyle, what sparked your interest in sports before that?
Great question. Obviously, sports has been my favorite thing since growing up. I mean, I came from a sports family. My cousin, who's pretty much like a brother to me, we pretty much grew up living together. He plays basketball and is really, really good ball player. I grew up playing basketball, baseball, even played a little bit of soccer here and there, and then football growing up. Later into high school, kind of grew up a little bit. I started to realize it was hard for a 5'10" guy to be going to play collegiate level football or basketball. So I think I decided I needed to go with a different route, and my family always told me I was a very outgoing, extroverted kind of kid, and said I would be great at doing broadcasting. And I have to give my Nana some credit, as she was the one that kind of drove me into becoming a sports broadcaster and or TV host. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet, but that's kind of the backstory how I got into it.
One thing I found interesting about it, as I was kind of doing my homework on you, you're from Maryville.
Yeah.
How'd you end up at Tennessee Tech?
I'm from Maryville, which is about, if you're not familiar with that, it's about 15 to 20 minutes outside of Knoxville. I'm a huge UT fan, and a lot of people ask me, Jonah, why didn't I go to University of Tennessee? I love the environment that Tennessee Tech brings. I think we have a good home environment, really laid-back area. I would call it a college town. A lot of the restaurants and places like that kind of build around their students. So that was kind of the reason I came, and then I felt like I can make a footprint in the journalism communication department. And we are growing, but we have a smaller department, and I thought that me being with sports-wise, there was nobody else here that was interested in that. I can make a footprint. Dr. Birch is great. Witcher's great. Wilson. We have a really, really good staff, and I think we have a family almost. I think it's a small group of professors, which is a good tight net of students, and I feel as a family, everybody's got each other's back, and I really appreciated everything that they've done, and Tennessee Tech has been able to do, not just for me, but for students that are interested in the same kind of field.
Definitely, and as we'll get into the Tip-Off radio show and becoming Tech Sports News Director a little more, talk about those a little more and how those opportunities came about.
Yeah, so I know I kind of probably talked your head off at the intro. Probably should have waited a little bit. I did a show back at home, 100.9 FM on Knoxville station, with a guy named Wayne Kaiser. I'll send this to him after we're done. He kind of gave me the jolt to get the experience in the radio field. So I did that, and then covered Maryville High School's basketball play-by-play. I was the color guy there. So that kind of led me into the tip-off radio and play-by-play that I do here. But the sports news director job was the one I applied for as I got here. And through that, I kind of control all of Tennessee Tech sports news, whether it's TV, radio, or even in a podcasting setting. I have to cover that. So,
is it just Tech sports?
No. So that in the writing as the description of the title, it's at least Tech sports. But man, I wanted to go above and beyond. I wanted to give people the sporting of everything. When it's college football season, I want to talk some college football. When it's NBA playoff season, I want to talk some NBA playoffs. When it's NFL, it's NFL. And I love to incorporate everything. If you have an interest in any kind of sport and want to talk about it, I love to chat and break things down. But I do love cover Tennessee Tech sports and news on the show. You're going to get people that go to a college, and of course they're going to be interested in the sports that go on at the school. But if they love sports here, they're going to love sports outside of it too.
And what are some of your favorite aspects of these opportunities? Like maybe something you didn't expect or something that surprised you?
Probably the thing that I didn't expect the most was being able to jump so fast. Honestly, I felt like there was so many doors that are just flying open. I'd go through one and the next one would be right open. And I felt like I started just, doing a news segment by myself and ended up grabbing so much attention from students and everything around campus that love what I'm doing, and kids from back home that I went to high school with keeping up with me. And it's been a real humbling experience for me too, just because I've just been so blessed, Jonah. I mean, there's so many things, and I think this whole entire thing has surprised me. And I'm not surprised that I got it done because I know I worked hard for it, but at the same time, I'm surprised with and just blessed with so many things that have been able to come my way. So I'd say pretty much everything and in between so far has really been surprising.
What sort of advice do you have for people interested in getting more involved like you have?
Yeah, go for it. You're not going to go each day and sit around and get things done. You got to get up and go. You got 2 feet on the floor and run with it. If you never try, you're never going to succeed. I think that anybody that has a passion or has something that they want to do, just go for it. A lot of people say you only live once, but you live every day. So you die once, and I think that you have to experience what you want to experience in life. And if somebody's interested in doing what I want to do, go talk to somebody that you know is doing it.
So I came up with a segment called Tier Talk. It's an honorable mention, Tier 3, Tier 2, and Tier 1, kind of like a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Today's subject is the greatest basketball players of all time. My honorable mention, first of all, is Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt the Stilt. Just everything he could do with the ball, everything you hear about him in documentaries and stuff, it's incredible. And my Tier 3 is Bill Russell, the late Bill Russell. He was a legend of the game. He's up there. He's one of the few you consider up there with Michael and LeBron, in my opinion.
The rings get him up there for sure.
Yeah. Tier 2, Michael. And everybody knows why. To some, he's probably the GOAT. He may be the GOAT to you. But everything, I watched The Last Dance. That was a great documentary. But yeah, I still don't think he can beat out my Tier 1. I'm sure we're all listening, knowing who it is, LeBron. Just seeing what he's still doing at age 39 today is incredible. Taking the Lakers squad this year that wasn't very high on the power rankings all season, and now people are talking about him being dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm an MJ guy. I think MJ's the GOAT. But I think if you can't agree on anything, you can't agree that there's GOAT of eras. And I think we should start talking about that more. We think about how good these basketball players are. LeBron James of this era, since I've been born, is the best player I've seen watch live, 100%. You take it the GOAT of the era before, a lot of people say Kobe. And then you take Michael Jordan before that, and then you got your Bill Russell, Kareem, and incorporated there. I got Michael just because he's 6-0 in the finals, and James has got those 2 scoring titles, but Michael Jordan still has 10. And we can talk about competition all day, and I think a lot of people will say, well, competition was different, yes, but we cannot say if it was better or worse. Each is their own player. 2 is LeBron James, 100%. I was a LeBron GOAT for a while. The Last Dance, after watching it, not saying it changed me, but it opened my eyes a little bit more to that era. And, I mean, it just kind of, you got to respect both of these players for what they've done for the sport of basketball. My 3 is Kareem. I think Kareem is just an outstanding. I think a lot of people say he could be fake. I mean, a lot of people say he's a real guy, but he didn't do the things he did. But based on what I'm seeing stat-wise, based on what I'm seeing and what is said to be the truth, I think he's 3. I had to pull this up on my phone because I did have my list on here to make sure. But then for my honorable mention, I would have to go with Bill Russell. I think just off of the rings and the championships that he's done, the accolades. If we want to talk accolades, Bill Russell would be at the top. But that's my honorable mention. But I love that segment right there. It's always one to get a debate going.
Yeah, for sure. Who's your favorite player of all time? Because personally, it hurt my soul not to put Kobe in that. He's who got me interested in basketball. And, I think like we were saying, the GOAT debate, I think it's more fair to debate the GOAT by era. Like LeBron. LeBron right now, obviously. Kobe earlier than that, then Michael before that, and then we'll keep going on and on. But who's your favorite player?
Chris Paul. Been a fan of him since I was little. I did shed some tears when they lost to the Bucks in the finals, and that was 2 years ago. But I am a huge Chris Paul fan, just the way he plays, and hopefully we can get it done this year.
And then on to the next segment before we get you out of here. Thank you again for coming on.
Of course, man. Rapid
fire. I'm sure you're familiar with this one for sure.
Yeah.
Your favorite play-by-play call or interview you've done?
Probably when Tennessee Tech played Murray State last year. I was able to call that. Unfortunately, we lost that game, but really close. And we played against a Murray State team who ended up making the Sweet 16 last year, which was really, really cool. And I got to interview Junior Clay after the game. And Junior Clay, who ended up transferring to Tennessee State last year, but a wonderful guy. That was my favorite memory that I've done so far.
Favorite sports memory overall?
Oh, favorite sports memory overall just happened last year. Tennessee knocks off Alabama, and we tear down the goalpost. That is my favorite sports memory of all time, that one or the Hail Mary in Georgia, but I think Alabama takes the cake.
I shed a tear during the Alabama game. Just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, hey, I think a lot of UT fans did. It was a very emotional one for everybody.
For sure. And favorite sport outside of basketball?
Honestly, my favorite sport to watch is college football, but I played basketball, and then I still play basketball religiously. But I love to watch college sports is kind of up there for me, and then you got the NBA and NFL.
Favorite NBA, NFL, and MLB teams?
Okay. Favorite NBA team is the Phoenix Suns. Like I said, you can say what you want, but I'm a huge Chris Paul fan, been one since a kid, and I will do anything to see him put a ring on his finger. NFL, I'm a Broncos fan. I've been a Broncos fan. I was a huge Peyton Manning fan, obviously Tennessee background. MLB, I'm a huge White Sox fan. I know it's random. We got a Phoenix, you got Denver, and you got Chicago White Sox. You're like, how in the world? Still root for the Braves a little bit on the side, but yeah, White Sox is who it is.
And the last one, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this one. Give us your pick to win the finals this year. And since I already know the answer, I'll make you pick the series too.
Okay, unbiased. I'll go unbiased, okay, Jonah? I'll go unbiased here. I like the Celtics in the finals in the East. I think it's between them and the Bucks. I still don't see the 76ers going deep. I think Nuggets lose next round, so I don't think they're coming out of the West. I love my Suns, but we haven't been together long. We've added a lot of bench players, and we've not really kept the same team. I miss Mikal Bridges. I miss Cam Johnson. I miss my original 5 to 6, 7-man rotation. But I think we'll lose in the Western Conference Finals to a team that I think is hungry. But I do think coming out is going to surprise people, and they're already showing it right now. But I think the Sacramento Kings are going to have a fan base that is hyped right now. They're rallied. They're up 2-0 over the Warriors. They got Draymond Green suspended for Game 3. I think they can keep rolling and they can keep firing. They can get there. But I got the Celtics in 6 over anybody in the West. I think the Celtics are not going to lose another final, so they're going to get it done this year.
Well, thank you again for coming on, Carson.
Of course,
it's
Jonah.
been
Yeah,
awesome.
Thanks for having me. We'll have to get you on the tip-off in the show. But once again, if anybody's listening at Tech, you want to reach me, you are more than welcome to. I'd love to have you on any show whatsoever.
For sure. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Pyped Podcast. Don't forget to head over to Instagram and follow the pod at Pyped_podcast or follow my personal page at JNHall45. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to tune in next time for an all-new episode where we talk even more sports with even more great vibes.